Welcome everyone. I am Pranay and I am Senior Technical Architect at 42 Gears. Today I will be talking about Android Enterprise. In this webinar, I will discuss what is Android Enterprise, its benefits, and how it simplifies the management of Android devices. I will also present few demo and walkthrough of Android Enterprise implementation in 42 Gears UEM product. If you have any questions during the webinar, you can post them in the question box and I will answer them at the end of the webinar. So let's jump right in. What is Android Enterprise? Android Enterprise, formerly known as Android for Work, is a solution framework provided by Google for Android devices using which EMM vendors like 42 Gears can handle several deployment scenarios needed by enterprises using Android in their workforce. These deployment scenarios include managed device and work profile. Android Enterprise was built keeping businesses in mind. It provides an additional layer of security in business deployments and takes care of all the inherent security needs of the enterprises. Android Enterprise fixes device management problems associated with usage of different Android devices from various OEM vendors. By integrating with leading mobile management solutions, Android Enterprise reduces device fragmentation issues and provides a consistent management experience. Android Enterprise also provides several functionalities which by default is not available to consumer applications available for general public, thus meeting the business demands of the enterprise. Moving on, we will now take a look at the adoption of Android Enterprise. Since its inception, security concerns associated with Android have held back the adoption of Android devices in enterprises. However, Google addressed all those underlying problems by incorporating Android for Work in Lollipop version of Android. It added support for work profile and work managed deployment types, which were known as BYOD and COSU at that time. It also added feature to protect enterprise data through full disk encryption. Each version following Android Lollipop added more and more enterprise-based features such as improved certificate management, advanced security configurations, and zero-touch enrollment. All these made Android perfect for enterprise use. Businesses are now using Android devices across all workforces to power daily operations. Android Enterprise has a wide number of use cases across several businesses in financial services, restaurants, field workers, industries, etc. In financial services, it can be used to secure the data present on the device. In fields, Android Enterprise can be used to restrict the users to have access to only certain applications, thus increasing their productivity. Android point of sale devices are used by retailers and restaurants to accept orders from customers and for processing credit card, debit card, or cash payments. Businesses convert Android based smart TVs and tablets into beautiful digital signage screens. Now, coming to the most important part of Android Enterprise, Security enhancements. Data security is of utmost importance when it comes to enterprises dealing with any kind of data. Android Enterprise ensures that data present on the device is encrypted, and when combined with a strong password policy, it becomes impossible for anyone to steal the data from a stolen or lost device. When it comes to secure data transmission, Android Enterprise provides ways to configure and secure the network using VPN. By installing user certificates and certificate authority, VPN can be used to securely access data present within an enterprise network over the internet. And this, when combined with containerization and other policies like copy paste restriction and screenshot restriction, these data cannot be misused by end users or other apps installed on the device. Let me show you how 42 gears UEM supports security enhancement features offered by Android Enterprise. For this, I will go to 42 gears UEM console. So this is how a 42 gears UEM console looks like. For the people who are seeing this console for the first time, I'll give a brief introduction. On the left hand side, you can see the list of groups where you can categorize your devices. In the center, you can see the device list where all your devices will appear. And on the right hand side, you see the device information. Whenever you select a device, you get a certain amount of short information like device model, operating system, the agent version, UEM agent version, then you have MAC address, IP address, some of the battery and memory information, and so on. We also have a quick action panel where you can refresh the information from the device, take its remote or control the device remotely, view the application installed on the device, and configure SureLock or SureFox installed on the device. There are a lot more quick actions available here that you can see. Now moving back to our topic, to configure Android Enterprise related features, you need to go to the profile section of 42 Gears UEM. In the Android section, sorry, you can see you can configure the profile for Android for work. So first is the password policy. You can configure the password policy by specifying the quality of the password. For example, it can be numeric, alphanumeric, or alphabetic. For example, I can select it to be alphanumeric, and then you specify a minimum password length, which can be a number like 8. So with this policy, users will be forced to set an alphanumeric password of minimum length 8 into their devices. Going to system settings, we have a lot of configuration here. I will just list out some of the important configuration. One of the configuration is screen capture policy. You can disable screen capture on the device using which users will not be able to take the screenshot of enterprise applications. Then we have factory reset protection, where the UI to disable factory reset the device is disabled, thus preventing the user to perform a factory reset of the device. Then we have cross profile copy paste restriction, which will disable the users to copy any kind of data made with text or images from within the container, which is the workspace, into the personal space. Coming to network settings, one of the things I mentioned was configuring the VPN. So we have the VPN configuration here, where you can configure a VPN client to uh, establish secure connection with its server. A VPN client, a third-party VPN client is always necessary to set up the VPN connection with the VPN server. And then finally, we have the mobile threat detection, which is powered by the Google Play Protect APIs. Google Play Protect uh, can scan the applications present on your device, and if there is any threat in one of the application, it can alert you. And using 42 gears UEM, you can schedule the scan on a daily or weekly basis. Coming back to the presentation, now we'll take a look at the managed Play Store. Managed Play Store, formerly known as Play for Work, is the world's largest distribution platform for applications. Android Enterprise offers businesses a managed Play Store, which eases the provisioning of Android enterprise applications and manages them remotely. This is a standard way to secure and deploy apps using a managed Google Play account. IT admins can pre-approve any apps you need for work. Managed Play Store provides functionality to manage work accounts on devices using a single G Suite or Gmail account. It can be used to whitelist the apps and configure their permissions, policies, and restrictions. Administrators can also remotely push these applications to their devices. Managed Play Store provides a very simple way of publishing private apps which are visible only within the organization. It also provides ways for bulk purchasing the apps and managing their licenses. Managed Play Store also provides Google Play Protect, which I demonstrated earlier. Google Play Protect services, which helps against malware protections, thus keeping your devices safe and secure. It checks the device for potentially harmful apps and warns the admin when one is detected. So let's see how we can configure managed Play Store with 42 gears UEM. For that, let's first visit the managed Play Store website, which is play.google.com/work. Here you will be able to see all the public applications present on Play for Work and also the private application only visible to your organization. So here you can search for any application like PDF reader, and you can select an application and approve this application for your organization. Once the application is approved, you can verify it by seeing all the applications approved in your organization. So here you can see in the current organization, there are 3 applications that are allowed, which is Adobe Acrobat Reader, Gmail, and Google Calendar. To configure these apps in 42 gears UEM, you need to go to the application policy, configure, click on add, and choose Play for Work. When you choose Play for Work, you will be able to see the exact same applications available here. Sorry. So now if I select Adobe Acrobat Reader, I can choose to install it silently. On clicking next, you can see a list of permissions that are required by this application. So administrator can choose to grant or deny some or all of these permission. For example, administrator can choose to deny the camera permission for this application, whereas it can allow the permission of read contacts for this application. And default means that there will be a prompt on the device and the user gets to choose to grant or deny the permission on his behalf. On clicking on next, you see a certain set of configurations available for this application. For example, if I take the first configuration, allow printing from app, you can choose either yes or no. And if you don't want your employees to print documents using this application, you can choose no, which will uh, prevent the users to print the PDFs opened in this application. You click on finish and all these configurations are saved. Another interesting thing in application policy is managing volume licenses. So the volume licenses that you purchase can be visible here in 42 Gears UEM console. For now, I have not made any volume license purchase, so it's not so I cannot see the number here. But if you purchase any application in volume, you can see the number of licenses that you have purchased here in this column and how many users are currently using it or the license consumed are visible here. So using this feature, administrators can keep a track on the number of licenses that they have purchased against the number of licenses that are still available to the users. Moving back to the presentation, let's see some of the enrollment process for managed for Android Enterprise. So Android Enterprise mainly supports two types of device management, namely work profile and fully managed device. Work profile was formerly known as BYOD. BYOD is the practice of allowing the employees of an organization to use their own smartphone for work purposes. Android Enterprise Work Profile separates personal data from work data at the OS level using containerization. This ensures that personal applications present on the device have absolutely no access to work data or work apps present on the same device. There are two ways of setting up the device for BYOD. First one is using Google Managed Account Provisioning technique, which is outdated and very rarely used in the industry now. The second approach is called DPC first provisioning or DPC initiated provisioning, where the DPC or the EMM agent is installed and enrolled, and then it initiates the provisioning of the device by showing some easy to follow instructions on the device. For a fully managed device, also known as dedicated device or COSU, there are several ways of deployment, the most important ones being keyword provisioning, QR code provisioning, and zero-touch enrollment. All of these approaches require the device to be in factory reset mode. For keyword provisioning, you need to enter the keyword AFW hash SureMDM in the welcome screen of the device that comes after factory reset. I will demonstrate this in a short while. QR code provisioning is also similar to the keyword provisioning, except that you need to tap 5 times on the welcome screen, which will open the camera app, and then you need to scan a QR code provided in the 42 Gears UEM console. The easiest way of enrollment is the third type, zero touch enrollment. where you need to purchase the device from an Android enterprise recommended reseller, sorry. The reseller can pre-enroll your device into any certified EMM vendor. So when you receive your shipment and turn on the device for the first time, your device automatically gets enrolled into the EMM account. So let me demonstrate you these provisionings one by one. So I have with me Nokia 6.1 device. It's turning on. So this is an Android One device and also one of the Android enterprise recommended device. I will be demonstrating you the keyword provisioning technique in this. Okay, so this device is currently in factory reset mode, and this is the welcome screen that you see after factory reset. So for keyword provisioning, you need to click on Let's Go. Click on Skip to skip for connecting to a mobile network. So it's mandatory. So it's mandatory for you to connect to a Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to connect to a Wi-Fi network. I'm going to enter its password now. The device is currently connecting to the Wi-Fi and it checks for some updates. It will prompt you to recover the backup data. Here you can click on Don't Copy. So now you will see the Google sign-in screen where you have to enter your email or phone number. On this screen, you have to enter the keyword AFW hash SureMDM. SureMDM is the formal name of 42 gears UEM console. So this is what you have to enter. I hope it's visible. So after entering this keyword, you click on Next. So this is going to prompt for installation of SureMDM Nix agent. You click on Install. This is going to download and install your Nix agent, but this is not going to configure it. The initial configuration of Nix agent has to be done manually. So coming to the next enrollment is the QR code enrollment. So for QR code enrollment, the QR code is provided in the 42 gears UEM console. For that, you need to go to the profiles, settings, and open the QR code for enrollment. When you click on generate QR code, you are provided with a QR code which you need to scan on the device. I'm going to demonstrate you this on another device. I'm having Moto G6 with me, which is also an Android enterprise recommended device. To open the QR code scanner, your device should be in factory reset state, and on the welcome screen, You don't have to press on let's go. Instead, on an empty area, you have to tap 5 times. As soon as you tap 5 times, you will see a QR code setup screen. On this, you click on next. It will prompt you to sign into the Wi-Fi again, and I'm going to connect to the Wi-Fi. The device is currently connecting to the Wi-Fi. There are some terms and conditions. Click on accept and continue. This is going to open the QR code scanner now, and I have printed the same QR code that was displayed on the 42 gears UEM console. If I scan that, you will see accept and set up your device, accept and continue. So there is another set of um, terms and conditions that you need to accept. Click on continue. So there is nothing else to be done on this device now. This is going to download the Nix SureMDM Nix agent from Play Store, and it is going to also configure it so that the device is now available on your console, on the 42 gears UEM console. So the enrollment for this is done. Moving on to the third enrollment type, uh, zero touch enrollment. I have Google Pixel with me. To configure a device using ZeroTouch, you should have access to the ZeroTouch portal. The access to ZeroTouch portal can be provided by Android recommended reseller only. For example, this is the ZeroTouch configuration portal that we have. In this, you need to create a profile or configuration in which you have to specify the account of your UEM and also the server path. So the UEM, this is the UEM server's path and also the account ID. Once this configuration is done, you will have a list of devices and you have to assign this configuration to your device. For example, this is my Pixel device in which I'm going to set the configuration test config, which I have just now shown you. Once this is done, then there is nothing else that needs to be done at your end. The next part is you just have to take the device. And so consider this device as out of the box. This is in factory reset state. You need to turn on the device, click on start, connect to the Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to connect to the Wi-Fi again. So connecting to Wi-Fi is the only thing that you need to do. Once it gets the connectivity with the server, it is going to download the configuration automatically. It is going to install the SureMDM Nix agent automatically, and it is also going to configure it automatically so that the device is automatically enrolled into your 42 gears UEM console. So here it's checking for updates, and after checking for updates, it is going to prompt to install the SureMDM Nix agent. There you go. So there are certain terms and conditions, you need to accept them, and that will initiate your enrollment. So you can see on the device side, it becomes really simple. You don't have to do anything. Moving back to the presentation, let's see how one of our customers, Hoppy Holding, a logistics firm, leveraged Android Enterprise. In order to mobilize its workforce and improve productivity, Hoppy Holding decided to use Android smartphones in its supply chain operations. With the help of 42 Gears, Hoppy Holding was able to apply Android enterprise management methods to enhance security and simplify deployment for IT pros. Hoppy Holding was looking for a quick deployment for Android devices which could provide secured and tailored restriction capabilities for drivers when they use data and apps for work purposes. 42 Gears UEM allowed Hoppy Holding to enroll devices easily in few steps. Using a managed version of Google Play, it allowed to securely distribute selected businesses and public applications. Silent installation of apps was made easier, which allowed Hoppy to install apps on bulk devices within minutes and without any user action. Hoppy Holding was able to gain 380% on ROI with 42 Gears solution. Also, the overall time taken to deploy devices reduced from several hours to just 5 minutes. With this, we come to the end of this presentation. Thank you for listening. I would now like to move on to the Q&A session. If you have any query related to any feature or any part of the demo, I would request you to add them to the question box now. So we have our first question. Does all Android devices support Android Enterprise? So Android Enterprise was started with Android Lollipop version. So devices that are above Lollipop supports Android Enterprise, but not all features are supported in Lollipop. Every Android version comes with new features, and Google publishes a list of officially supported Android Enterprise, which is called Android Enterprise Recommended Devices. Google support Google certifies that all these devices support all the features of Android Enterprise. If some device is not available in this list, there is a chance that it may or may not support Android Enterprise. But to be sure, you have to go with the Android Enterprise recommended list. We also recommend using one of the devices from Android Enterprise recommended device list if you are using Android Enterprise. The second question is it possible to use zero touch enrollment if I have not purchased the device from a reseller? The answer is no. The zero touch enrollment will work only if you have purchased the device from a reseller, and if you already have an Android Enterprise recommended device which you have not purchased from a reseller, you cannot use zero touch enrollment for that device. The next question is, could you please tell us how to do Samsung Knox bulk enrollment in SureMDM? So this topic is not related to Android Enterprise. Still, I will answer this question. So in Samsung Knox, we have a feature called KME, Knox Mobile Enrollment. SureMDM supports Samsung KME, and using this Samsung KME portal, you can enroll the devices in bulk. Samsung KME is almost similar to Google ZeroTouch enrollment, and the enrollment works out of box. So this KME can be the best solution you are looking for when you are enrolling Samsung Knox devices in bulk. So the next question is, how would you associate a user's device to an Active Directory account so you could configure an Exchange account via profile? Sorry. So this question is also out of Android Enterprise topic, but I'll still answer this. The Active Directory account can be configured as the enrollment process for your devices. Using the account settings, you can set up your Active Directory account. And while enrolling the devices, the user has to sign in using their credentials into the Active Directory to enroll the UEM agent into the server. Apart from this, if you also want the Exchange account to work, you need to have an agent, probably which will be an Outlook agent, using the app restriction section I have demoed in this. So using app restriction, you can configure the Outlook agent to configure the user's Exchange server, and you can use the keywords like dollar username dollar or dollar email address dollar in the app restriction section, so that the users are allowed only to enroll into their Exchange account and not anyone else Exchange accounts. If you have further questions, you can mail me at webinar@42gears.com or visit us at www.42gears.com. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure being with you today. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.